hostess. I'm going to show you to
You're
your
gonna be a
seat,
hostess?
your table.
You are the hostess with the mostest.
Gentlemen, your table is this way.
It is, indeed.
Mhm.
Do you know how to do the hosting thing, Nick? You say, like, hey, this is the Couch Co-op, and I'm here with Jared and Ian.
I mean,
That's hard work.
I think every episode, I guess, will be practice.
All right,
You
well,
can put stickers. You can put stickers on your monitor with our names, so you don't forget.
yeah. All right, Nick, go. You're live, buddy.
All right. As I choke to death because... Welcome to the Couch Co-op Show. I'm your host, Nick, Lord Beerstro. And with me, I have J. Rod.
Yeah, that's right.
And Ian.
Ziering. Ian Ziering.
Ian
Ziering.
Milkman.
90210.
Pictars. 90210. All right.
Ian Ziering, 90210.
Yes.
Gerardo, he's a samurai.
Mm-hmm.
What beer are we drinking? Let's just get to it.
Yeah, we'll dive right in. So we are drinking Lagunitas Waldo Special Ale. It's normally a springtime-ish release. Usually comes out around mid-April. I think 420 is the date that they always tend to go for. So it's actually a beer you're supposed to drink fresh. We're a couple months a little late with it. But,
Special ale.
Better late than never.
This is 11
it's a triple IPA.
11.7 bullet to the head, dude.
Yeah,
it's a 2024 highly limited release.
And I actually have to ask Ian.
Yeah.
You
know what? There's a funny story.
Well, you can tell this story after we've poured our beers.
Should we pour it first?
Yeah.
All right, let's crack it.
Yeah, I think we should crack it.
All right.
Let's go.
And even before we tell the story, I actually had a question for Ian.
Oh,
because,
he has a question. I think it pertains to the story, though. But go ahead.
It might, because did you ever release our little comparison from last year where we compared 2023 to?
Oh boy,
I think 2021. Things kind of went a little off the rails. I mean, the train was already kind of a runaway when it started.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
No, I never released it. It was such So this is the original Canby Beer Fest story. Hence, I'm drinking a Canby Beer Fest glass.
Oh, nice.
Just in honor of Nick because of this beer. No, because we were already... Well, he had already drank from there. I didn't get my tickets. Long story. Go listen to the episodes. Then we spent the whole day. There's an episode of us just drinking and having fun and doing an episode of beer reviews and drinking. By the end of that episode, I'm already trashed. And then he wants me to do 2 Waldos back to back.
Oh, you got to release that in some form.
No, I don't even think I have it anymore. I think but there was an 11. We did one episode. It's in one episode where I drink one, and we're talking. And I think we just both kind of just like start just like losing it. And I'm like in like middle way through the second one. I'm just like I can't do this no more, dude. I'm just like no. I don't even remember what tastes like what anymore. I just like whatever.
Funny.
And it's so drunken, bizarro garbage that I just like, no, this can't be released because there's no actual review like commentary. It's just us being like really just drunk.
Dumbass drunk.
Just drunk.
That's funny.
Both of us, actually. I thought it was just me, but both of us are pretty fucking lit. And it's just, yeah.
And there's even a little spill that happened, too.
Oops.
Anyway, so this is the fresh. I would say that I do remember those beers being good. At least the first one, I remember it being a good beer.
Yeah, I think you actually liked the older one better.
I did, like the aged one more.
You might actually like this.
I didn't hate the other one. So Here we go. 2024.
Smells nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, I still can't smell. I'm still suffering.
COVID.
Yeah, who knows?
No, delicious. High octane. I can taste the firepower. Malty.
Yes.
It's sweet.
Yeah, it has a lot of flavors going on there.
I feel like the hops can't compete with the alcohol, though. Like, the alcohol is just still kicking their hops ass. Like, ultimately, right? I still feel the firepower over the hops. Right? No? You guys disagree? Agree?
Yeah, I definitely taste a lot of the alcohol flavor on there, but the hops
are trying. They're trying to compete.
Yeah, they're very citrusy hops, it seems. At least it's a kind of a sweet, malty beer with a high hop content.
Anything to fight the alcohol, basically.
Yeah. Has a good color.
It does.
It's a wonderful battle going on in your mouth.
It does. I think, you know what's funny? Well, we all have very similar colors until they get closer to the screen. But like from back here, we all have very similar.
Different cameras.
Pull it back, Nick. Oh, well, Jared and I are very similar. Yours is a little golden.
It could just be the lighting in the room.
I know, 100%. I was trying to get them all the same.
Oh,
Ian's nice too cool to have lighting.
I have lighting right here. What are you talking about?
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
My lighting's a little
dark in there today with black shirt, black shelves, black background, black poncho.
Sorry, Jared. Jesus.
Black humor.
Emo, bro, dude.
Is that better? I look pretty light in mine. I look pretty lit in mine.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe my contrast is like super.
Nick looks darker than I do.
Yeah. It's. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the time of the year too.
That's okay.
The sun
That's
being
all right.
out all day long.
Yeah. Go down, son.
I don't even want to comment on that.
I saw the look on Ian's face. Like, what?
I was like, oh, JPK is not here. Oh, he's going down somewhere else. All right.
But that's, we're done with that one.
We're done with that comment.
Yeah.
So what do we know about this beer? It comes out
from it's a seasonal release, like kind of a special seasonal release. Doesn't stick around for very long because it's fairly popular, and I didn't even know about it when I first heard about it 6 years ago, and I missed an opportunity, and so it kind of came on my radar the following years. And
so they only brew like a certain amount of kegs and bottle only a certain amount?
Yeah, I've never actually seen it in kegs. I've only just seen it in bottles.
Oh, so we don't know if it's ever been on tap anywhere.
I have not to my knowledge, but I have very limited knowledge of that right now. Actually, I was trying to look up stuff right now on it.
Well, I'm taking a picture of the story on the side of the bottle so I can read it a little better. If you would like me to read the story.
The website probably has the story, Jared.
Well, I don't want to pull the website up. One afternoon in 1971 at 4:20 p.m., the Waldos met in front of their school by a statue of Louis Pasteur. Armed with a treasure map, they set out in a 66 Impala on a journey to find a secret garden somewhere near Pinot Reyes. They never found it, but they kept looking. Same time every day. The dankest and hoppiest beer ever brewed at Lagunitas was made with the help of the Waldos for all the treasure hunters.
Apparently it's supposed to smell like Ponderosa pine.
That was a story made to be printed on a very small section of a label.
That no one was going to read. Here's another thing. Okay, so it says 2024 highly limited release. I get that it's really highly limited. I've never seen this in the wild. Nick always seems to find it. Jared, have you seen it in the wild?
Yeah, I've seen it at Total Wine, yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it.
When it comes out.
So what is that window like, and how quickly do you have to buy it? Like, is it like you got to get it within the week and it's gone?
Maybe a week or two. I mean, obviously some places are going to sell it better than others. Mm-hmm. I think like being in Canby, where I'm at, I was very lucky to just happen upon it at the Thriftway here in town. They have like a little special cooler for like special release stuff. And actually this time they actually had it on their shelf too. So
whoa. I
saw it and I grabbed a couple, and it actually came out in 6-packs this year. I think it normally, or in years past, in years past it came out in a 4-pack, but yeah, this year was a 6-pack, so that was kind of different.
So they brewed a little more this year, maybe.
I don't know, maybe not. I just know, actually, I kind of had a little bit of a cheat to know when it actually came in, because I just happened to be walking in the warehouse where I work, which actually happens to be the Lagunitas distributor, and I just happened to see a lone pallet of it sitting somewhere, and it had already been like kind of half picked, and so I was like, oh wow, it's here and it's already halfway out the door. So
you camped out at Thriftway is what you're saying. You just like,
no, I didn't camp out.
What are you here for, son? It's like, I'm here for Lord of the Rings. It's like, no, I'm here for Waldo. It's like, what? Has it always been 11.7%, or has the alcohol gone up?
I want to, off the top of my head, I want to say it's always been pretty high, like somewhere in that neighborhood. We can, I mean, I'm sure if we look at like a Beer Advocate or something like that.
What is the Beer Advocate rating? I'm curious. Come on, Jared, do some work.
What? I'm here to drink a beer, man.
I'm recording. I got the recording, and the Nick can only do so much. He needs us to help us.
It's got a 96, 96. World class, or 96.
96. Wow, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How many votes?
Well,
2. That's great. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know where to look. Oh, so there's 661 reviews, 2541 ratings.
2541.
It's so world class.
Yeah. Says it's 11.7, but I don't know if that's just for this year.
It's pretty intense, though. I don't know how you could drink a 6-pack. Yeah. It's like a shareable beer. It's not like I'm gonna go to the store and get a 6-pack to kill tonight. It's like, this is a beer where it's like, maybe you get through 2. Maybe you get through 2. It's an intense beer. Like,
you chip away at it.
Yeah.
You maybe have 1 or 2 on a weekend.
Yeah. It's but it is a 96.
A 96
on Beer Advocate. That's very high.
That is pretty high.
Yeah, and it looks like, I'm looking at some reviews from last year, and it was 11.7 last year.
If we really take that to heart, like that so many people like it, why do you think so many people like it? Like, because ultimately, it tastes like a lot of alcohol. But it tastes like a lot of alcohol. Is it nice?
Well, and that's probably part of the appeal. It's got a lot of alcohol.
You could go get some malt liquor. Some malt liquor. You get a 211, and it's got a lot of alcohol. I mean, it's got 11.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of alcohol and kind of a smaller package. And with it comes a lot of flavor as well.
You think so? You want, like, what? Yeah. What? Like, okay.
Huh. So I'm looking at the Total Wine website, and I did a search for it, and it says it is not available within 200 miles of your location, but I could pick it up in San Dimas.
It tastes like rocket fuel a little bit. Mm-hmm. It tastes like rocket fuel. I get that it tastes smoother than 211, but it still tastes like rocket fuel. It doesn't taste like beer. That's going to be my... that's what I'm saying. It's pretty fucking sweet malty.
Yeah.
And burns like rocket fuel.
Huh, I don't get the burn.
You don't get that? I get the alcohol burn.
I don't quite get it either, but
trying to have a conversation, trying to have a deeper conversation.
No. Okay, I get the alcohol burn. My tongue is currently wilting away.
No. That's not what I mean.
Man, your face is getting so red.
What I'm saying is like, is it really a great beer? Or is it a gimmick beer that people like because it's so high octane?
Even then, there's beers with more alcohol than this.
There is.
Ratings.
There is. But there's a lot of beers I'd rather drink than this.
But
I don't know. I mean,
I think a question also worth asking is how quickly are you looking to drink it? Because this one, you could actually. I mean, for the purposes of the show, we're probably drinking it a lot faster than it's probably intended to be consumed.
Where we at? We're all at like halfway.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm not really doing much with, like, let's say I'm sitting down and trying to figure out how Destiny 2 works, I could probably drink this beer in the entire time it takes me to figure out how to get to that stupid tower.
So this is like an hour sipper, not a half. We're gonna drink this beer in a half hour, but this is like an hour to 2 hour sipper.
Yeah,
you think so?
Yeah, and even as it kind of warms up, you kind of get a little bit more flavor to it. Because I mean, you don't necessarily want to drink this like ice cold, because that'll well, maybe in your case, the alcohol burn does the same thing, but drinking it colder is it's not gonna taste as well, because it's gonna numb your taste buds. And so when
I get it being a sipper, Nick, I 100% agree with that. I think we are trying to like down it a bit faster because we're doing a show. I 100% agree with that, but I still feel like
you're still not seeing.
It's a bit more aggressive beer.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm curious, like 211 is an awful beer. It's very malty and rocket fuel. Its flavor profile is gnarly and sucks. But if you were to take a sip of this and then take a sip of that right after, I don't think you'd fucking notice the difference.
Would the 211 be your chaser, Ian?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, I think this does have a better flavor profile, but I think once you've drank this, I don't think that matters. And which is fine. This is not a. I just feel like they've found a way to weaponize malt liquor, basically, and which is fine. But I don't really think that this is. I don't think this is that great a beer. I think it's fine. It's tasty. I think if my drunk self back then was like, oh yeah, it's good, I could just drink it because I'm trashed. Tonight, I'm not so trashed. I'm like, I'm inebriated. But
well, actually, you were trashed that night, and you even said like, I can't do it.
Well, yeah. Well, the second one I couldn't do. But that's just because I couldn't take anymore. I was just like, I'm done. I can't drink any more 211. I mean Waldo. I just think it's the easier 211. It's like all these AAA IPAs, though. They're all of that. They're all like, they're all in that kind of like anything we can do to make these high beer content beers more palatable. I think that's what they're trying to do. The shitty thing about that is, for drinkers like me, here's my comment. For drinkers like me that like to drink a lot, like to just, my thing is to drink, this beer doesn't work for me because I can't drink it. Like I like to drink. Not that I'm a drunk, but like my favorite thing is to like the act of drinking and consumption of beverage is something I enjoy doing. That is the act. So this beer
does not appeal to you.
Well, it inhibits that.
You're not the target. You're not
Right.
the target audience then.
100%. 100%. What this beer is for me as a target is to get fucked up super fast. And I do enjoy this beer. I do think this beer is very delicious and easy to drink. But it serves a different purpose for me than traditional beer. It doesn't taste like traditional beer. It doesn't taste like... It's funny because it doesn't really taste like an IPA. It's funny that they label it an IPA. I feel like all these like triple IPAs shouldn't be labeled triple IPAs. They should be drinkable malt liquor is what they should be called. Because that's what they all are, really. Hop Venom, all these beers, they're just malt liquor that has been molded in a way by these craft breweries to allow you to drink them and not feel so shitty about yourself. And they're more expensive. I think, honestly, that's what they are. My personal opinion, whatever.
So a couple of statements I found online. Well, Google AI just kind of threw these out. I'll just skip some of the stuff about like the flavor profile, but it goes to others say that a great triple IPA should have a malt backbone that supports the strong hop character. Which I definitely taste.
What hop character in this one, though?
It's very, very sweet, kind of herbal. It's like that's what's sticking to my tongue.
It's
and then
the
balance.
It's the malt is what's sticking.
Some brewers say that the most important characteristic of a triple IPA is achieving balance between the amplified flavors and alcohol. So they have to overcompensate with ingredients to cover up the alcohol is what that says to me, because the high 100%. Alcohol in it.
I agree with that.
But the amplified flavors.
But my opinion of this one is that the alcohol is so high and the flavors are just meeting it, just barely meeting it. They're not amplifying it. They're not giving that. When you drink, if you were to drink a basic Lagunitas IPA, you would taste the hoppiness.
Very.
Right? It'd be up here.
Yeah.
This one is just trying to, but it never gives you that hop profile.
It's more malty.
It's so more malty because it's so much more liquor. And like I could use a little more hoppiness just to give it a little more like make it more than 211. Go drink a 211. It's crazy malty sweet fuel.
This stuff smells way better than a 211.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't, Jared. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying
I know you
that,
wouldn't actually go out and buy a 211.
I'm just saying that it doesn't push the profile. It's just holding the profile of the alcohol. It's
almost an IPA in name only.
I would argue it's not an IPA. Because you don't get that hoppiness. I would like that little more hoppiness just to give me something that, because honestly, the sweetness is too much. The alcohol burn and the sweetness, malty sweetness, is too much. I almost want a little bit of sour kick. Because you know what? The sour kick is what keeps me from drinking it consistently. It's what it's a sipper. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to speak.
Yeah, it's crazy how different our tongues are. Because if you take a drink of this and let it spend a little bit of time in your mouth versus just pouring it down your throat, you get a lot of that herbal, like hoppy flavor. And it's like if that's sticking to the back of my tongue. Like I feel a lot of hops on my tongue right now.
Really, I get burn and sweetness when I do that. I get burn and sweetness.
Huh?
It's like, where's the hops? They're hidden in that burn for me. So I guess that's the problem with everybody. We all have different tongues, and everyone tastes it differently.
Yeah, I mean that. Right? We've looked at plenty of beer advocate
we all have
reviews on beers that we love, and everybody's like, "This stuff's shit."
I guess I would like it. Honestly, I would like a little more hoppier.
Huh.
That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I would like from it.
I wish I could smell it.
Serve with a fresh hop cone.
It smells good. It smells sweet and very caramely.
Yeah, I love the smell of this stuff.
But it doesn't smell
really
very hoppy to me.
Yeah. I'm still dealing with something a month later, and I can't smell.
I'll deal you something a month later. It's a delicious beer. I don't want to badmouth it too much, but I guess that's my opinion of all these kind of beers in this category, the triple IPA. Is like, have we found a way to weaponize and make people spend a lot of money for 211? I think so. I think ultimately, yes. I mean, they're not 211, Hop Venom or whatever. All these other beers. I mean, Hop Venom's what? Not triple, but is it a triple? It's not triple.
No, it's a double.
It's a double. But all these double to triples, like, it's kind of a game, right? It's just like a way for people and craft brewers to like, oh, it has so much alcohol, but it tastes good, like the original. It's like, what would be the base beer for this one?
Probably Lagunitas IPA.
You think so?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of what their double is, because, I mean, I think they've got a couple, but...
For Lagunitas?
Yeah.
I think they just have a double.
I mean,
I think they just have a double IPA Lagunitas. They just call it double. I think I've seen it. I think it's just
Colossal IPA. It's the Maximus.
Oh, you're right. I've seen that too. Yes.
They used to have another one though too that we used. I don't know if it's even still out anymore.
Colossal's like in this green can, right? Tall boy green can.
It's like lined with a green border on its white label. It's a glass bottle by the looks of it.
Oh, I've seen Tall Boys.
Oh, yeah, they have a green 6-pack, yes, with a bust of a dog statue.
Right.
You know, the Lagunitas dog.
So this is just a variation of that. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, maybe we'll go with that because they.
Come on, Nick. I thought you had all the information. You're bringing your beers.
Dude,
I'm just kidding.
But
I'm just giving you shit.
So I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember a double. Excuse me. I'm trying to remember a double IPA they used to have back in the day that I used to get from Plaid like fairly often, and it almost is very similar to Maximus, like in terms of the label and stuff. But
they probably canceled it. Like once Lagunitas got bought out, they probably just killed it.
Well, right now they have a new double.
I'm talking like 2008 to 2010.
Is that before they got bought up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably what it is. They probably just killed it.
But it was like, I swear they had like a different double IPA, and this was kind of a more convenience store friendly double IPA, because I mean that's where I always saw it and delivered it to, I guess.
I'm sorry I'm not being more friendly, like the episode that no one ever saw. But I think that only speaks to the fact that I was so trashed that night. And I think I don't think this is a bad beer in any way. But this is not a commentary to just this beer. This is my commentary to a lot of triple IPAs. You know, I think they're masking ultimately just the high alcohol profile. And like, what is the high alcohol profile? Well, it's 211, right? They're just trying to find a way to make their beer not taste like 211 at the end of the day, right? That's what they're doing. What else are they doing? That's what they're doing. That's what everyone's doing. I don't know. That's my opinion.
It would be interesting to see what a beer like this would taste like had they not over accentuated the sweet and malty flavors
and no hops. Just like it'd just be a burn alcohol probably. It'd just be a pure like kind of
just a grain alcohol.
Mm.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, I know you're right, Nick. I mean, this is the 30-minute mark. We drank this beer in 30 minutes. I get what you're saying about.
Stupid, that's what it was
I get
called.
I get what you're saying about, like, it's just a sipper.
Yeah, and
it's like whiskey. It's like
crowd.
whiskey. I mean, you just sip whiskey, which is like just fucking alcohol with a little bit of flavor, right? So that's what this is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like, I'm not trying to badmouth this in any way. I'm just like giving my kind of, as a beer drinker who likes drinking beer instead of like sipping beer. That's kind of where I'm at with this. It's like,
But also, your take is kind of
different. It's different. It's different. Yeah.
No, it's a little derivative of somebody used to call out wine snobs who would. Wine snobs.
I'll call out wine snobs. I fuck wine snobs.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's people just calling wine snobs out on their bullshit. I mean.
Yeah, we're not gargling beer and spitting it out in it.
Well, yeah, I want to call out.
Not only that,
but I get what Nick's saying. It's like, there are beer snobs out there.
Yes,
there is a beer. There is a thing of like, oh yeah, beer, and it's like,
get over yourself.
They're the ones that come up with the weird like flavor profile names that come out. Like I saw in triple IPAs that one of the flavors is sweetness of gummy bear flavor. I'm like, what?
There's no one more that hates. I love shit beer, and I will drink shit beer. I will drink shit beer to the day I die. But I am not against drinking higher profile beer, which I'm for, and I think IPAs do exist in that profile. Sours, Jared likes sours. I agree, sours exist. There's a lot of these beers. But then you get to a point with the IPA that it becomes, well, we're just trying to mask a malt liquor for these snobby motherfuckers, right? No? Because you could pour some fucking 211 in a fucking nice like little like sniffer. What do they call those glasses? Snifter. And you could sip it and be, oh yeah, It might be aggressive, but I mean.
Well, no. The point that I was trying to make.
I know what you're trying to make, but I'm just saying, like, that's the point I'm trying to make. Is like there is a level of that going on in the world. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, it was just that some people are a little too pretentious and trying to hide what their true intentions are, and some people calling out wine snobs on their bullshit, and where they're trying to turn it into this upper echelon kind of upper crust culture. People are just saying, well, no, you're just trying to be high and mighty about just getting drunk.
Yeah, I'm definitely not part of that culture. I enjoy tasting beer, but listen, I'm not going to.
I mean, as a person,
but
as someone who's like,
feel that
as someone who's recorded almost 400 different beers I've drank at this point, knowing that I've drank more than those type of beers, but like just recorded, like my palate, I get it. I have lots of beer. I've done a lot. I know a lot of beers. This one I don't hate. I'm sorry. I'm being the devil's advocate on this episode. I apologize for that. I don't want to sound like I hate this beer. I'm just like, could this be?
It does sound like that.
It does sound like. Could this be? Would this be? Is this possible? Is this what they're doing? Is this what the whole industry is doing? Is Lagunitas keeping up with an industry standard to try and make, like, I think they are a little bit. They're trying to keep up with an industry that's like, well, we're just trying to mask these high alcohol beers to get people drunk so that people buy them. Like, is it really a good beer? Or are they just trying to keep up with industry standards, like industry norms? Like what are we doing here? Like, that's what I'm, what do you say to that, Nick? Like, these ideas that these industries.
Well, it sounds like So it sounds like this is like the same take that you had when we were doing the various forces from New Belgium when they were in those large 19.2 cans, I believe.
Sure.
That are very prevalent in convenience stores.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's the case with this because A, it's not readily available. I mean, you're not going to find it at your chain stores. You kind of have to go a little bit out of your way to actually find it. Not to mention, if you can find it, if you find it in time, I think this kind of appeals more to a specialized audience, probably a little more up their own ass than they should be.
But I have a question for you on that. Do you think that's up their own ass in the sense that, like, it being a limited release is kind of bullshit because they could just make this high alcohol content of Lagunitas IPA whenever they wanted? They're just creating a market for something that isn't really necessarily needed because, I mean, Juice Force, Fruit Force, all these crazy high IPAs, like, I'd rather have one of those than this, honestly. And I'm not saying
they
that
mask it very differently.
They mask it, yeah. Jared's right. They mask it very differently, but it's a beer I'd rather drink than this because this doesn't taste that. Theirs don't taste like rocket fuel like this one does, and this one tastes more. Those taste less like 211. I'm sorry,
They taste less like beer.
But this one tastes like beer, but this one tastes more like 211. They all taste less like beer. Like beer as a beer, like what is? Okay, that's the other thing, Jared. You bring up an interesting point. What is beer? What is everyone's baseline beer taste? You know, what is ultimately that beer? What is, in your mind, what tastes like beer? And then you're given this beer, which is the Waldo, and then like, how does that taste to the baseline of what you think beer tastes like?
If your answer was Coors Banquet, you're not gonna like this.
No, but like,
wait a minute
what is your baseline? Jared? What is your baseline? What do you think a beer tastes like? What is your beer of beers? What beer tastes like beer for you? What is your beer?
I would have to think longer about that.
You honestly think that?
Quick moment, yeah. Like, because I have a very large variety of beers that I always have in my fridge.
Because none of us
but I don't
drink
have
live,
like
right?
one baseline that I'm like, I need just a beer.
Nick, can you answer it? Do you have a baseline of what you think? I know there's a lot of beers. This is a stupid question. But when you think of beer, in your brain you think beer and you want to taste it, what is that beer baseline?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jared on that. I'm gonna really have to think because
Serious?
it also there's no clear answer for me.
There is 100% a clear answer for me.
No, not really. Because
not for you,
it's also
not for Jared. I get it.
Like a hoppy IPA, I'd say a Lagunitas IPA. That's like one of the top.
But it also depends on the moment too, because there's, different. Like even something like the weather can play into
brother.
Brother. Drink at that moment.
I'm gonna say, for me, honestly, my opinion of what beer tastes like is like just baseline beer. It's like a fucking Rainier. It's like a fucking Miller Lite. It's like a fucking that is beer. That is the understanding when you're a kid. It's like Milwaukee's Best. It's like it tastes like beer. Then you're integrated into these other beer styles, in my opinion, and you learn, oh, this is a beer. IPAs, all these other things. Sure.
And then you learn what the definition of what beer is.
Beer is sours, not beer.
And it's a wide swath of
ales,
different
Hefeweizens, all these other things. But when I think of beer, I still think beer is that lager beer, that baseline beer. And I get it. That's not what the world is and everything, but I think every country you go to has that baseline blue collar worker lager, and that's what I'm talking about. That's beer. Then you have other beers, IPAs, blah blah, and then you have malt liquor, Mickey's. I honestly believe that these, like Waldo and Hop Venom, any of these double IPAs and these high octane triple IPAs, they exist in that crazy malt liquor octane level. They're just rocket fuel, and they mask it better. They do a better. That's why they're more expensive than 211. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's just rocket fuel. It's just trying to. It's like the Lagunitas Maximus, Jared. Like they sell that in Tall Boys and Safeway.
Yeah, they do.
Not because they want someone to enjoy the flavor and aspects, because they want to sell it to the poor person to get them fucked. That's, if it wasn't in Tall Boys, then I'd trust it. Waldo at this point is not in Tall Boys. You're right, but Hop Venom, the double IPA, isn't a Tall Boy. They just wanted to get you fucked up. They just want you to get trashed. They just want the public to be out of their mind. Anyway, I'm talking to a larger picture, and maybe I need
very specific audience.
Maybe I need to. No, I'm talking to a broader audience, Jared. The broader
I'm talking
audience.
about the beer itself.
The beer itself, though, is perfectly good. I'm sorry.
If you like AAA IPAs, this is a really good triple IPA.
I've been working on myself, and I'm having a mental breakdown, I think, and I just don't give a shit anymore about the public or the industry or the community.
So, Nick, are we ready to rate this beer?
Are we? Yes, let's do it.
Yes, let's rate this beer before we go on another Ian roller coaster of opinion.
Oh my God, you guys gonna throw me under the train like that? All right,
no,
ahead. Let's do it.
No, it's just it's a roller coaster of emotions, but
that's all good.
We
just need to do another 211 episode.
Let's yeah.
See if we can find the 211 black can somewhere.
Yeah. Do it. Yeah, let's do it. All right. Need to win. What do you have? All right.
I have a Jared. Thumbs
up. Sideways.
Whoa! See?
I'm not a huge fan of triple IPA, so that may be an unfair score.
I talked all
IPA
of this
fan.
shit, and then Jared's going to do the same thing I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So we agree, but then he just wanted to shit on me the entire time. All right, that's your friends for you.
Agree. Maybe he doesn't necessarily agree. It just wasn't for him.
Yeah, I haven't.
Of course, Garrett can answer for himself.
A lot of malt liquors, so I can't compare to a specific one for a triple IPA or anything like that. But I don't know, like the hoppiness, it was there. It was fine, but I don't know, like the maltiness is what I like in a lot of beers, and that almost seemed to be, I don't know, like it had something different going on with the malt. So it didn't have the sweetness that I appreciate in a malt. Almost like it was cooked out or something like that. So I don't know. It's because it didn't have too much hops. Hops was pretty mild overall.
There's no hops
unless you're swishing it in your mouth and like your tongue, like the sides of your tongue will catch it or something like that. But yeah, the maltiness, it wasn't there as much as I would like to cover up the like all alcohol-y flavor of it.
I would love to do a taste test, like with like triple IPAs and 211, and honestly,
like a blind taste test.
Like a blind taste test, because I honestly think, to a certain degree, I don't think people would get the 211 if you put if you had 4 craft three like triple IPAs, and then you had 211, and you put 211 in there in that challenge, and you had people test, I don't think anyone would pull out the 311 from the triple IPA test. 100%. I 100% agree that no one would pull it from it. I think everyone would be like, oh, that's just an aggressive. In fact, I bet some people would be like, oh, this is the best one here. And I know that's a shitty thing to say, but that's beer. I think that's 100% current beer scape. I think the beer landscape is so garbage right now with the IPA and the whatever.
Hazy IPAs. Very hazy IPAs.
Juicy IPA, triple, double. I think
all
that
IPAs.
landscape is so garbage right now that I think you could like take some people that, and I think they would have no idea. Even though it's a fucking supposed lager, I don't think people would know the difference. Unless they saw it. Maybe they would notice the difference visually, but I think taste-wise, they'd be like, I think people are too stupid.
It kind of reminds me of like early Imperial IPAs and stuff like that when they first started really just dumping the hops and just kind of experimenting. This is like one of the experiments that happened, and some people like it every year. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my preference in IPAs. Yeah. Nick, what are your thoughts on this beer? You've spread your thoughts about this one in the past. How about this specific session? Because that can change depending on foods you've eaten and everything, and you just ate dinner.
Right, and like, well, that and the fact that I can't smell right now.
That's harsh, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of sucks for me, but I mean, I had this earlier because I did buy a couple 6-packs of it when I had the chance.
Nice.
So I do remember still liking it a lot, and probably part of what Ian says is true, and the fact that I like the intensity of it, if you will, but I also like it not to sit here and try and quickly drink in a 30-minute session, but just to kind of like sip and just kind of let it sit for a while. Just because, like I mentioned before, like it probably is a better beer to have a little warmer, like a stout or, you know, Ian's favorite style of beer. It just
like 50 degrees, I think is the standard for a higher alcohol one.
Yeah, more of the flavors come out
Mm-hmm.
When you get closer to room temperature. I mean, I will agree that there wasn't a whole lot of hoppiness to it. I mean, now it just sounds like I'm borrowing from you guys. But no, I always like this one, though. I will continue to buy it every year when I see it.
It's not bad. It's not bad by any means.
No.
Yeah, it's not a bad beer. I wouldn't say no to it.
Wasn't my takeaway from your opinion, but obviously we land in different spots with how we react to it.
I feel like my opinion of this beer is unfortunately a wider opinion of these beers. Unfortunately, I'm taking it out on this beer. Which I shouldn't.
It's kind of catching some shrapnel
because I'm probably more like in a Milkman drinks a beer. It's probably more like here. Like I gave it this because we only have
we have
three here.
Ratings,
but like in a Milkman drinks a beer, I'm probably up here with it, like mid. It's catching some shrapnel just because I just feel like it's time to talk about this, and I feel bad that I'm talking about it with this. We could have picked any other triple IPA. Maybe we should have, and like I could have had this conversation with any other one. I'm sorry it's catching some shrapnel, but it's how I feel about this certain beer style and the wider, broader beer community. Anyway.
But I think it's catching some shrapnel, but I think it's a little misplaced just because it's not readily available year round, where your opinion would apply to.
What? I don't think that matters, Nick. I don't think that matters, but okay.
Well, I do because I think it's not. I do. I disagree in the sense that it's targeting a different audience than.
Oh no, it's targeting the same audience, but in a window. They're like, hey, you have to get this because, like, hey, you want this malty liquor beer?
But it's kind of for people who know, and
I disagree 100%.
Okay, all right.
You don't have to agree with me. You can defend it. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think I'm defending it more than you're not. No, it's not. It's just I don't think it really applies to this, but it's not necessarily that I disagree with your opinion. I don't think it quite applies to Waldo versus like some of the other beers where your opinion makes sense, like the X-Force from not the comic books, but just because there's a tropical, there's a juice, and there's a fruit. Anyway, but just stuff that's readily available that you can just walk down the street and get. At just throw a rock at a store and you can find the beer that you're talking about.
I think this 100% because this allows, because it being a limited thing, it allows them to charge more, and then they know they're going to sell out of it. I feel like it's the same thing. Whereas
why aren't
the other guys are like, all right, we've just decided that this is what it is. And we'll charge this much for it, and we'll just keep raking in the money. Like,
then why don't
Lagunitas could keep? I mean, Lagunitas is owned by who now? I don't know. Whoever they're owned by now, but they're just like, oh, sure, you just do what you want. They're just like letting them be funny, but it's like, I feel like it's so. Whatever. It's nondescript and unimportant, and sure. Okay. The limited edition thing still gets you. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. That's why you buy this one versus the other ones. If the other ones were limited editions, it'd be cool. It'd be something you'd still be into. I feel like that's such a weird and that's a trendy thing, I just feel like maybe it's not that important. I don't know. Whatever. I feel bad now. I don't want to talk shit about this. I'm sorry.
Well, I did want to say thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick, for buying us the beers.
No,
thank you for buying us the limited edition beers.
Well, I kind of forgot that, but
you did do that for us. But at the same time, I feel like it's like, what the fuck? I feel like that's the gimmick you're paying for. Versus
but next time, if you decide to buy us a pack of Waldos, just buy Ian a 211. Okay,
yeah, just buy me a 211. What I'm saying is like you're paying for the gimmick of the limitedness. You're not paying for the beer. The beer is available. There's like a million other. Anyway. I don't want to get into this. I feel like this is the beer. This is the beer machine. We're in the beer machine, and this is what I'm talking about. And I don't want to be a dick any more than I already have. I apologize.
So I mean, just to kind of
go ahead,
throw out a beer that would kind of prove your point.
You want to prove my point?
Well, so Pliny the Elder.
Sure. Great beer. Lovely beer.
Right.
One of the greatest.
But that only used to be available, like, I don't know how limited it was.
Still limited.
But
can get it up here unless they bring it in.
Right, except now that I work for the distributor of it, you wouldn't believe how often I'm actually delivering it now. Like, I'm
really?
pretty sure. Yeah.
They're producing that much of it now? They're producing that much of it?
Yeah, it is not as limited as it used to be.
Because they didn't get picked up by anybody, did they?
Not as far as I know.
Did they get an influx of money to upgrade their...
I don't know, but I mean, I'm just that's the I mean, the reason I'm bringing up that beer is because I think that would be a beer more to your point of some. I mean, granted, it's not a high alcohol beer like Waldo, but the fact that they've kind of done the whole limited thing,
but that's a
for
delicious
as long
beer.
as they have.
That's a delicious
Well,
beer. It
but
tastes way better. I mean, hands down, I would choose Pliny over Waldo any day.
But does that not? I mean,
It does apply. No, because Pliny isn't limited. Pliny is always made. It's only limited to us because we live outside of where it's produced. But if you live in the area where it's made, it's always available. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lagunitas doesn't always make Waldo.
Okay.
That's a different. But like,
maybe I'm just confused.
Also, Pliny is fucking delicious.
I what?
I hate Pliny because it's overrated in the sense that like everyone just like sucks its dick, but like at the end of the day, it's such a good beer that it is hands down better than Waldo. Like, I'm not even gonna argue this with you. Like, are we gonna have this conversation or no?
No, we aren't, because I wasn't.
What are we arguing?
I wasn't even trying.
What are we arguing?
We're not. I wasn't arguing, actually.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We're not arguing.
I was trying to paint a different. I wasn't actually trying to compare Waldo to Pliny.
Okay. No, but
it was more of a comparison of the fact of. I mean, I don't know if it's readily available down in California all the time. I just can only speak to what I've seen, and
it may not be, but it's readily available at that brewery. My understanding is those people make that beer, and then that brewery has that beer all the time. That's my understanding.
Okay, because it's
like Trapdoor. It's like Trapdoor sends certain barrels out, but they only have certain to sell out. But they always have it, like they always have Glowed Up available on, because that's their house beer. So I'd imagine Pliny's. I could be wrong. Hey, listeners, hit us up. Let us know. Tell us that I'm wrong, and Nick's right.
Well, I'm not even trying to say that I'm right or wrong. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. But
listen, I mean, we're all passionate about beer. That's what we're saying.
But I guess I was trying to say, to your point, to something that used to be, I guess, a little bit more limited up here. Like, I don't even know if Pliny ever had a season. I just know it was, whenever it was out, it was a mad rush to hurry up and get it before, it sells out.
I feel you.
Then it's, then you have to wait until it comes out again. And now it's like, you don't even have that anymore, because
their website says it's year round.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with your argument, Nick, right now, because Pliny is still an independent brewery. Lagunitas is owned by a giant corporate.
But what's my argument? What do you think my argument is?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, Waldo could be year round. They just somehow the corporate overlords have decided, we'll let Lagunitas still do what Lagunitas wants. But really, if they wanted to, they could make Waldo year round and churn it out, because they're a giant company. Whereas Pliny of the Elder is a small company, and they make Pliny of the Elder year round because that's what they do. That's their beer. They have a namesake with that beer, and that's what they do. That's their beer that they live and die by. Like, Lagunitas doesn't live and die by Waldo. Waldo's just a thing that they like, it's a spike in sales, and I don't know.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents, my opinion. If Lagunitas was still solo in California, making IPA and all that shit, then sure. But it's who owns them now? Jared, like, what, Anheuser? Who owns them? Miller?
Heineken
Heineken owns them. Yeah, because they also make a Newcastle Brown out of the Lagunitas site. I mean,
the original owner still is the CEO as well. So I mean, he's still behind the recipe and stuff like that.
Right. So they're owned by them, but they still have some autonomy, and they still make their fun beers like Waldo. But I don't think Waldo it's not important to them. It doesn't. It probably spikes sales for them. It's one of the reasons that Heineken's like, oh yeah, keep doing that. It spikes sales of your beer, and we make money, and we're cool with it. I don't know if it's really about. I don't know. This is a very cynical look at the beer industry, but the beer industry is really dark right now. It's very cynical. Everyone owns everyone else.
If they're not dying.
So Lagunitas, I mean, we talk about Pliny of the Elder, Russian River. I mean, I imagine they have gotten like every manner of like bid to buy them out, and those guys have held it off and felt that they can hold it off and be their own shit, and they know they're hot shit, you know, because Pliny is a good fucking beer, and I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not shitting on this beer. I feel really bad that I took the stance on my triple IPAs tonight. I shouldn't have. I should have just been, oh, that's great. Wonderful. Love it. I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to.
No, it was the only reason I brought up Pliny was it was more of me, I guess, trying to understand your point of view. Not so much to argue Pliny versus or Russian River versus Lagunitas or Pliny versus Waldo or anything like that. It was more of I guess I'm trying to understand your viewpoint.
A limited release battle.
Right.
I just don't get it. I mean, yeah, I get it.
I guess more to, well, and actually maybe we can go a little bit more local to, I guess, to your point. Because you brought him up, Hop Venom. Hop Venom didn't used to be readily available.
Oh, 100%. It didn't. It was a very hard beer to find.
It was, yeah.
A lot of their beers were hard to find until Deschutes picked them up. Mm-hmm. But before Deschutes picked them up, like a lot of those beers were hard to find.
And Notorious was you could only get that on draft at their actual brewery location. You could get it in a crowler, and that was it.
But I'm gonna pick. But even after,
which, by the way, Notorious is a triple IPA.
Yes, it is, and it's still. But even after all that, I would choose Boneyard over Lagunitas.
But my point in bringing that up again is not to compare the beers more than just it's. Right. You made an argument, and I guess I'm trying to fit in some other pieces.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
See,
there's an industry behind one, and there's not an industry. I mean, even like Boneyard. I mean, Boneyard may have been bought up by Deschutes, but Deschutes is an independent brewery, so they don't have a machine by them. Whereas Lagunitas has a machine by them. You know, there's a machine behind Lagunitas. Which doesn't really matter. It just means one has more money than the other. Yeah. And whatever. Who cares? Everyone's tired of this conversation. We're like, hey, Waldo is still a very tasty beer. It's very aggressive. It's very rocket fuel. It's a triple IPA that's intense. I don't feel it's very hoppy. Incredibly malty and sweet. Trying to mask the alcohol. That's my opinion. Other boys, we gave it 2 thumbs.
2 chubs.
Gave it 2 chubs. Nick to win, what video game would you pair Waldo with? Since you're the only one that picks beers these days.
I'm going to pair it with Destiny 2 because it'll take me a whole beer. It'll take me a whole sip or a whole session of sipping this beer.
And he still
figure out what the hell I'm doing in that game.
He still has no idea where he is. So where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Where is Waldo?
Yeah, exactly. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Where's
Hmm.
Nick? Where's Nick? Oh, he's still trying to figure out fucking Destiny 2.
Well, that's wonderful, gents. Hey, Nick DeWin, take us out. It's like, what do I say now?
All right. Well, there you have it. And you have all our opinions on Waldo. So take that, digest it, sip something with it. And, Jared, what's the tagline for the show?
Be excellent to each other.
That's right.
Nailed it.
And we'll see you here on the next episode.
Later, everybody.